Since the Russian invasion of Ukraine on February 24, 2022, much of the fighting has been conducted on land and in the air, but in many ways the Black Sea is one of the core reasons for the war itself. While there has been little ship-to-ship fighting, the Russian Black Sea Fleet was tasked with a critical role in the Russian offensive, while the Ukrainian Navy, small by comparison, until recently has struggled to challenge its neighbour directly. In this video, we will talk about the overall situation in the Black Sea and how the ongoing war possibly changed the balance of power for decades to come. Today we can also help you get a grip on geopolitics, or specifically the geo part, with a brilliant look at the board on which the game takes place. It's Earth, miniaturized and put on display in your home by our sponsors, Mova Globes. These globes rotate seemingly of their own accord, with no power source. That's because they absorb solar energy from the room's ambient light to power a magnetic rotation system hidden inside, meaning you get a dynamic rotating globe with no fuss whatsoever. If it seems a little too good, that's just because it's newly developed technology with an ultra-low friction motor and something called micro-volume fluid levitation. Basically, Mova Globes just work on their own and look good doing it. As you've probably noticed, it doesn't actually need to be a globe of Earth. They have plenty of other planets to choose from, and even a few things that aren't planets, with over 40 designs in all. Whatever you choose, Mova Globes make for a great decoration and a cool gift for the person who has everything. Get 10% off a 6 or 8.5 inch Mova Globe by using our code KINGSANDGENERALS at movaglobes.com. The Russian Black Sea Fleet is based in the Crimean port city of Sevastopol, and has responsibility for the Black Sea, the Sea of Azov and the Mediterranean Sea, although access to the Mediterranean from the Black Sea for any Russian naval ships is currently prohibited by the terms of the 1936 Montreux Convention, which Turkey is currently enforcing. We will note that passage of Russian warships which are already part of the Black Sea Fleet from the Mediterranean to the Black Sea is permitted, as they are considered to be returning to their home port. This condition prevents ships from being transferred from other Russian fleets to augment naval strength in the Black Sea region. The Black Sea Fleet's offensive power, since the sinking of the cruiser Moskva by the Ukrainians on the 14th of April 2022, is centered on 5 guided missile frigates, 2 of them Soviet-era Krivek-class ships, commissioned in the 1980s, and 3 Krivek-5 class ships, each commissioned in the last 10 years. These newer frigates are built around their ability to carry and launch Caliber and Onyx cruise missiles. Since the loss of the Moskva, the Fregat M2M air search radars have also been used to track and monitor air traffic in the combat areas in the south of Ukraine. The other offensive arm of the fleet is the 3 improved Kilo-class and 1 Kilo-class diesel attack submarines currently active with the fleet. There are 7 Kilo or improved Kilo-class boats registered to the Black Sea Fleet, but 2 are in a maintenance cycle, while 1 is currently deployed in the Mediterranean, basing itself from Tarsus in Syria. These submarines are equipped with Caliber and Onyx cruise missiles, and represent a strategic deterrence in the region. The Black Sea Fleet also supports a series of Alligator and Rapucha 1 and 2 class assault ships, designed for conducting large-scale amphibious landings. Attacks by Ukrainian forces in February and May of 2022 report having disabled 2 of these ships. However, Russia continues to list them as available for action. The 6 assault ships registered to the Black Sea Fleet have been augmented by 5 assault ships from the Baltic Fleet and 1 from the Northern Fleet, all of which passed through the Dardanelles before they were closed by Turkey. These major warships are augmented by a series of missile corvettes from the Dergach and Buyan M class, equipped with Caliber cruise missiles, but designed for littoral combat, providing close-in support during landing operations. Among the various support vessels deployed by the Black Sea Fleet is the Ivan Kurs, a new Yuri Ivanov-class SIGINT collections vessel designed for intelligence gathering, surveillance, communications, electronic warfare, and fleet management. The Ukrainian Navy is, by comparison, very small, consisting largely of patrol craft mostly laid down during the Soviet era. Few of these ships have any ship-to-ship missile capability, and rely on autocannons, close-in weapons systems, and mounted machine guns for both defense and offensive capability. The Ukrainian Navy is augmented by ships of the Ukrainian Sea Guard and the Border Patrol Service, and include a Pauk-class ASW corvette as well as a mixture of Stenker and Schemmel fast attack ships, all originally built in the Soviet era. The United States has promised accelerated delivery of new ships for both the Navy and the Sea Guard, but these are all expected to be smaller patrol boats, suitable for littoral and riverine hit-and-run engagements. NATO presence in the Black Sea is mainly composed of ships from 3 countries: Romania, Bulgaria and Turkey. The Turkish Navy comprises the largest NATO force in the region, composed of a mix of 12 diesel-electric Type 209 boats of German design, meant for anti-ship warfare, 16 frigates, including 8 Gabia-class ships, which are modernized Oliver Hazard Perry-class frigates, originally built for the US Navy, and designed for both anti-ship and anti-submarine warfare, armed with both Sea Sparrow and Harpoon missiles, as well as Mark 46 or Mark 50 ASW torpedoes. The Harpoon missiles are in the process of being replaced by Turkish-designed Atmaca sea-skimming anti-ship missiles, which have a range of at least 250 kilometers. Turkey can also contribute up to 9 corvettes for NATO duty, designed for both ASW and littoral combat. The Turkish Navy includes over 30 amphibious warfare ships, including 2 Bayraktar LSTs, giving Turkey the ability to move and land troops and armor within the region. Romania is able to augment this force with several frigates and corvettes, designed around ASW combat, but with full ship-to-ship combat capability. Bulgaria similarly offers the same type of force disposition of older but refurbished Belgian frigates and Soviet-era corvettes. Both the Romanian Navy and the Bulgarian Navy offer a number of minesweeping ships, deemed of crucial importance in the Black Sea theatre of operations, in light of both the Russian and Ukrainian navies' propensity to use sea mines in the area. Crucially, the ships of the Turkish Navy are free to move through the Dardanelles and the Bosphorus at will. While many ships of the Turkish fleet are based from ports in the Mediterranean Sea, they have the ability to be redeployed into the Black Sea as necessary. Both the Romanian and Bulgarian navies are based in the Black Sea itself, making them a permanent force in the theatre. No other NATO naval ships are able to enter the Black Sea at this time, largely fixing the naval strengths in the region. Some of the earliest Ukrainian naval losses in the war occurred in the opening weeks of the Russian invasion. During the Battle of Berdyansk, Russian forces captured several Ukrainian ships, including a Matka-class missile boat and several Gyuza M-class artillery boats. There is still some dispute over whether these ships have been captured or sunk. In addition, the flagship of the Ukrainian Navy, the Kryvak III class frigate Hetman Sahedachny, itself due to begin an extensive refit, was scuttled while still in port in Mykolaiv. This was done to prevent the ship from being captured by the Russians. The early months of the war saw the most naval action, with the Black Sea Fleet dominating proceedings. This included the bombardment and capture of Snake Island, a key outpost near the Romanian border, from which control of ships entering and leaving the vital Ukrainian port of Odessa could be exerted. Amphibious landings against the port were anticipated but never materialized, likely due to increased pressure on Russian forces in other areas of the war. On April 13th, land-based Ukrainian forces mounted an attack on the Slava-class cruiser Moskva, whose long-range radar and air defense system was providing protection for Russian ships operating off the Ukrainian coast. The successful attack, which is believed to have been made by using aerial drones as a distraction, struck the Moskva with 2 R-360 Neptune cruise missiles. These missile strikes appear to have ignited onboard munitions, causing an explosion which overturned the vessel, sinking it. There has been little offensive use of Russia's Black Sea Fleet since the sinking of the cruiser Moskva on April 14th. The threat posed by the Ukrainian Neptune anti-ship missiles, as well as Western-supplied Harpoon anti-ship missiles, has forced the fleet to largely remain at anchor inside Sevastopol, or to operate well offshore or even behind the Crimean Peninsula, where their effectiveness and ability to support operations on land are greatly diminished. The submarine force, which should be able to fulfill its mission as a cruise missile platform, has been more muted than expected, being involved in some missile strike operations, but as the force least at risk from Ukrainian retaliation, performance has been quite subdued. While active seaborne threats seem to be quite minimal in the region, there have been, and continue to be, concerns over more passive threats spilling over from the war, specifically that posed by drifting naval mines. Both Russian and Ukrainian forces have deployed naval mines to deny access to regions of water. This includes the deployment of mines by the Russians to aid in enforcing the attempted blockade of Odessa, while the Ukrainians have deployed their own mines in the same region to help in anti-invasion proceedings. Some of these mines have broken free and are drifting on open currents, posing a threat to shipping in the Black Sea, with the threat being taken seriously even through the Bosphorus and Dardanelles. NATO minesweepers are on alert as a result, looking to find and deactivate any potential threats, and have been called into action multiple times in the western area of the Black Sea. With the loss of the air protection supplied by Moskva, Russian control over Snake Island, crucial to maintaining any type of blockade of Odessa, became more and more tenuous, including drone and precision missile strikes on Russian resupply craft trying to reinforce the garrison there. On June 30th, Ukraine announced it had regained control of the island, while the Russians claimed their withdrawal as a gesture of goodwill. This withdrawal had the effect of greatly diminishing the ability of the Russian fleet to blockade Ukrainian shipping. Since August 1st, a United Nations brokered deal has been in place, allowing Ukrainian export of grain from the ports of Odessa, Chornomorsk, and Yuzhny Pivdeny. Ships transporting grain are able to navigate an established corridor and must then stop in Istanbul for inspection by monitors from Russia, Ukraine, Turkey, and the United Nations, in order to ensure they are not transporting additional items. As part of this deal, the Ukrainians have agreed not to use the established corridor in the Black Sea to stage attacks against Russian ships and targets. October 29th saw what may possibly be eventually seen as a game-changing moment in naval operations. Ukrainian forces deployed 7 uncrewed surface vessels, or USVs, towards the protected Crimean port of Sevastopol. The 7 naval drones, approximately the size of a small canoe, penetrated the harbour and caused damage to a frigate and a minesweeper. While the damage was minimal, the impact of this attack forced the Russians to add extra layers of security to the ships and the port, and effectively lock the entire Black Sea fleet away, rendering it useless. Overall, the naval situation in the Black Sea since the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022 has been surprising. While it was expected that the Russian Black Sea fleet would dominate the Ukrainian Navy, which it rapidly did, the effective and innovative use of the weapons at hand by the Ukrainians has subsequently left the Russian Navy in Crimea a useless liability. We don't expect an active shooting war between the NATO countries and Russia in the Black Sea, but it is clear that the Ukrainians damaged the Russian Black Sea fleet to an extent that it can't impose its will anymore. Even the NATO fleets that are right now in the Black Sea are sufficient to keep the Russians at bay, so the expectation is that the grain deal will be continued no matter what happens. The continuation of the conflict in this configuration will continue to degrade the Russian naval capabilities in the region, and only strengthen the positions of the NATO countries. More videos on the unprovoked and illegal war Putin's Russia wages on Ukraine are on the way, so make sure to subscribe and press the bell button to see them. Please consider liking, commenting and sharing, it helps us immensely. Our videos would be impossible to produce without our kind patrons and YouTube channel members, whose ranks you can join via the links down in the description to know our schedule, get early access to our videos, access our Discord, and much more. This is the Kings and Generals channel, and we will catch you on the next one.